What's up, everybody? I'm back. I'm your host, the Big Man on Campus, getting ready to embark on another day in college basketball. What are we, 3 days in here? A couple matchups already getting going here. We got the NFL on, so if you're out there joining me, don't know how many people will get on here today with the NFL going on, but I hope you opine and feel free to send in your questions, anything you want to talk about. I am going to try to keep this to college basketball, but towards the end, maybe we'll throw out some NFL stuff. Catch me tonight doing all the NFL stuff on SBR. We're on at 7:30, and we're on about 5 minutes before opening kick of the Patriots-Denver game. So make sure you tune into SBR for that. We'll go over on the closing line what went on in the NFL today. We'll recap everything, and we'll give out some picks for tonight's game. And then Gabe and I will take it through on Sunday night. But, before we get into kind of the games, and I know Kentucky, Vermont's getting going. Unfortunately, this is when I had to start the show. I had some things I was doing, and this is kind of how it worked for me. So if you're out there, guys, obviously many of you follow me on SBR, but please like and share and comment on these shows that I do. I have these mainly because I do understand information's king in this business, and obviously I'm kind of a loser, and I sit and study this. So I'm here to help if I can. And give you information and give you my opinion on some of these games, maybe ones that you haven't necessarily looked at or had the time to look at. So I urge you, you tell your friends, tell anybody you think might like the show, to subscribe, to like, to feel free to contact me. You can contact me at Twitter at Jeff Nadu, JFFNADU. You can also email me anytime at the Big Man on Campus 215 @gmail.com. Feel free to get in touch with me wherever you can, and I'll feel free to help wherever I can. Also, guys, many of you ask me, how do you bet some of these games that you're betting on? And, in this business, it's really kind of, you're like a treasure hunter as well. You got to find things. And when you're in this business, if you can find an edge, that's your edge. And I'll be real, I don't think there's many bigger edges than the first week or two of college basketball in these non-conference games. Games that aren't necessarily in the, they're not like, you have like a Division I team playing a NAIA team or a Division II team. Many people ask me, Big Man, where do you bet those games? It is integral, and I'm going to make this clear. I'm going to say this once. It is integral. If you are betting college basketball early in the season, you must. Now, I don't get paid by these people. What you do is your own business. I'm just trying to point you in the right direction. Five Dimes has all these lines. They're the only book that has these kind of lines. You have to look under College Extra, right on the Five Dimes page. They have these lines. What I recommend you do, if you don't have Five Dimes, go to the SBR page, go to Sportsbook Review, check out what they have to offer, and sign up through SBR. It's a great thing to have. I'm not saying make all your bets on there, but when you're betting – and you want to bet these extra games, you want to bet these side games, make sure you're using Five Dimes. They are the only book that has these kind of games. So, and believe me, I've looked. So, again, please do that. Guys, do an update you a little bit on what I have going right now. I have 2 plays in motion. One has already begun and is in the second half. The other one has just gotten going, and I'll kind of break down what I liked. And feel free, guys, get your comments in. I see some people on here already, but I just want to take care of some housekeeping first. I actually have a play in right now currently on the Mercer Bears, minus 50.5. And, I know a lot of people probably laughed. They thought I was kidding around with this, but this is where you make money, people. This is where you make money. This is where you can really name what you want to bet, and it's going to come in. When you know what you're looking at, you know what you're doing, some of this stuff is pretty easy, frankly. I thought this game would be lined more, and they would never put these lines out like this, but I'll be realistic. I would have laid 75 in this game if you asked me to. I mean, it may not come in. I mean, they're only up 60 right now, but the truth of the matter is, I mean, it was largely possible that Tacoma Falls wouldn't hit 50 in this game, and they probably won't. Mercer's pushing 100. There's still 7 minutes to go in this game. They were up 57-19 at half. Tacoma Falls, guys, last night lost, and I don't know how many people know this, but they lost by 101 points last night. Tacoma Falls. Tacoma Falls is an NAI team in Georgia. They're a very small college. They're basically below Division III. Now, Tacoma Falls has played 3 games on the season, including add in last night. They played 4 games. They've lost every game by a large margin. Particularly last night, they've given up 108 points or more in every game. When you're looking at a game like this, you ask, can my team score 140? Probably. I mean, I'd be real, guys. I thought Tacoma wouldn't get 40 in this game. They've actually gotten 38, which is quite surprising. There's plenty of room for error here. We just need to keep our foot on the gas here, and we should be able to cover this. I'd imagine we win. Mercer win by 65-70. I would imagine. But Tacoma Falls played last night. I mean, just a terrible spot. So we'll hope we can get this one done. Yes, they won 134 to 135 to 34, I believe. And Appalachian State, guys, is for me the 12th best team in the Sun Belt. So Mercer's picked to finish first in the SoCon. So I actually thought this game would be a wider margin. It's 100-40 right now with 5 minutes to go. We're not scot-free just yet, guys. I mean, we're only up by basically 9. So I'd like a little bit more. I really thought Mercer would push 130 in this game. I'm a little surprised, but still some time left. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully they keep their foot on the gas. But please, guys, I'm asking you, do not update me on this game because this is basketball's a fickle business. It's one of those businesses where you don't update. You just let the person go and find it. But let's get into today's slate, and it's a 67-point game or a 57-point game, guys. We need some breathing room here from Mercer because this is going to come right down to the wire. I have a feeling, but I don't want to know what happens. Let's just get into the games here. Interesting games going on so far. Louisville up 3. About 8 minutes to go. George Mason playing good basketball. I like that Patriots team, always have. Where will we want to start here? Let's start with the game going on right now that I have, Kentucky and Vermont. I was really licking my lips at this game. I was waiting for the line to come out, and I hit it at 13.5 right at the opener, and I did get the best of it. So a pat on the back to me. Thank you. I got 13.5, and I really didn't want to wait. I really kind of wanted this one to not get away from me. If you watch Friday night, you saw Kentucky really struggled against Utah Valley, and Utah Valley is a team that is a decent WAC team. I mean, they're kind of in the middle, but Kentucky, the concern early on with this group is cohesion. They have amazing talent, but as you saw against Utah Valley State, you have a team that's not going to be scared to go in and play you. They're going to be excited. They're going to be up for it. We all know, look, no one that is going to play Kentucky for the most part has the firepower that they do. But when you're getting a team like Vermont who is disciplined, they shoot the basketball well, they have been in the tournament, they played big games before, they have 2 all-league players, they're the perfect type of team to not only cover numbers, but spring upsets. Will they go in and beat Kentucky? I don't know. Would I be surprised? No. Because to be real with you, if you ask me about Kentucky compared to their other teams, I think they're a little green personally. I don't think they're as good as some of the other teams that we've seen from Kentucky. They're very good. They have a lot of possibilities, but it's going to take some time. And when you get a team like Vermont, on kind of short rest, that's concerning. 13.5 is too many points. Vermont's a team, to me, they're one of the better mid-major teams in the country. They just are. I mean, Trey Bell Haynes is a great player. Anthony Lamb is one of the better players you haven't heard about. They're going to have to weather a storm, early. But I think when the game settles in, I'm really excited about what we can get from Vermont here. So we'll see what goes on in this game. Obviously, it already started. Let's start up at the top here. Bucknell, Arkansas. I like the plus 9.5. Your thoughts? P-Rips, thanks for tuning in, man. I do appreciate it. I wasn't really happy with what I saw from Bucknell on Friday night. They didn't. I know they were in that game, but we have to realize Monmouth is not what they were last year. We saw today they got crushed by Seton Hall. Monmouth lost a lot to graduation. Do I think they hang and they meet in the MAAC this year? Yeah. I don't think they're going to win it. I think they're a decent team in that conference. But if you're Bucknell, I really feel like in a game like that, you got to go on the road and you got to win that game. And Bucknell wasn't able to do it. I didn't think Nana Fallon played particularly well. And today, he's going to have a lot of trouble because this is a really good Arkansas team. We saw them, they crushed Samford the other night. I was on the other side of that. Bucknell did a bad job on the perimeter against Monmouth, and that's not good when you're facing, Beard and Daryl Macon and Jalen Barford. They attack the basketball. I think Nana Fallon will have a tough game here against some of the bigs for Arkansas. Arkansas is just SEC talent. Could they hang? Maybe. I just have a weird feeling a lot of people are going to grab Bucknell here. And again, there's not probably anyone higher on Bucknell than me. I just don't think this is enough points. This is basically saying you're basically giving a team from the Patriot League on the road in the second game of the season, giving them 9.5, only 9.5 points. I got to at least need 14.5 to get interested in the Bison here. I don't think it's a particularly good matchup for them. I'm not betting it. I'm going to just watch and see how Bucknell rebounds off that game against Monmouth. But that was a tough loss for the Bucknell Bison. I wonder about their mindset here. Now you got to go all the way to Fayetteville. This is a tough spot for them. For me, it's a pass and actually a lean to the Arkansas Razorbacks here. And that's what you're going to get from me, guys. No pussyfooting around the games. No, I'm not going to conversate on that. I'll give you an opinion if I have one on any game. I have no problem with that. Let's move on here. And how about, guys, Marvin Begley last 2 games? I mean, my God. I mean, what a couple of games there. Vermont's starting out a little slow here, just 4 points. I think really struggling with the length of Kentucky. They need to get control of this game pretty early here. Or this one's going to be this one might be over pretty early because we need to get Kentucky rolling. It's hard to rebound here from that. But yeah, how about Begley? I mean, wow. Coach K gets his 100th win or 1,000th win, 1,000th win last night in awesome fashion. Shout out to Coach K, who I'm not a huge fan of, but how can you argue with that performance? For anyone paying attention at home, we are up 60. What are we up? 61 points here with 3 minutes to go. So all in all, we should have a winner here with the Mercer Bears. Thank you very much. Yeah, I did lay 50.5 in a college basketball game, and yeah, it's going to hit. No, Big Man has no problem laying the big numbers. I would have laid 58 if I could have. Let's start up at the top here. We went over Bucknell. Yeah, a lot of people, Brad, are leaning Bucknell. And I have a lot of feeling that Bucknell's going to money burn today. Yeah, Emza. Unfortunately, Emza, I'm not going to get into the Monday games. I'll be on tomorrow. We'll discuss those tomorrow. I haven't even had a chance to look at the openers yet, which is kind of my problem. But there's just so much going on right now that I just ran out of time, unfortunately. But I don't expect them to move as much as we saw, especially with football on right now. Friday was a tough one because they came out, nothing was really going on, and people had chances to hit them. I think with football going on right now, college football openers are coming out. I think we're going to be in a better spot. I'm liking, yeah, guys, again, no, I'm not going to be touching tomorrow's games. Butler, Ace is talking about Butler against Princeton. I'm not that high on. I like Butler. I always do, but they're off a coaching change. I'm not as in love with them as some people are. I obviously am in love with Villanova, but I wonder, what will Lavelle Jordan's season look like with this team? I mean, he's coming over from Milwaukee. Is he ready for a job like this? He wants to extend pressure, which I got to tell you, I don't know that it's a great idea against Princeton. They have good ball handlers. They're a team that takes care of the basketball. You always get that out of an Ivy League group. These teams are kind of similar. Princeton's kind of a miniature version of Bucknell. They play slow most of the time. They want to defend. They want to take care of the basketball. Princeton would fit right in the Big Ten. Kind of a boring, slow-down defensive team that runs good offense. I mean, who runs more efficient offense than teams like Wisconsin or like a Butler even? I don't think Butler's really fits in the Big East. I'd put them more in like the Big Ten. But Keelan Martin's going to have a big night. I actually like Princeton personally. Princeton's a team that I think, as always, it can knock anyone off. Um, I lean here with the Tigers. I'm not that high on a Butler. Where else are we gonna go here? KC, I can stick around. I can't stick around, but dropping by. Well, thank you. Appreciate you stopping by here. Indiana should put pound Howard after that loss the other day. Yeah, but I mean, I would have assumed that they would have pounded Indiana State. Frankly, I mean, wouldn't you have? I mean, Archie Miller's, big time coach coming in. But look, defensively, they didn't play well. They're terrible, and that came back from the Tom Crean era. They didn't play well defensively with Tom Crean. There just was no defense. There was no mentality that, hey, we're going to play defense tonight. And look, I mean, if you actually want to look at the score, I thought they got off kind of scot-free. I mean, the coach they took a foot off the gas, Indiana State, frankly. But I agree. I think they bounced back. Howard's really low-level MEAC team, and I actually will be on Indiana. That's the game I'm going to give out later. This is an automatic play for me, which if you've listened to my shows, I've told you, I automatically, when you have a Power 5 team against a MEAC or SWAC team, I automatically lay the number. I actually even did it last night, and the Mountain West isn't even a Power 5 team with UNLV against Florida A&M. Especially off a loss, I would think Indiana's a lot more alive in this game. Archie Miller probably gave it to them over the weekend practice. Vermont, good. Way to weather early push, 13-11, 11 minutes to go. Yeah, I actually agree with you there, Ace. I think they pound Howard here. Pissed off after a bad defensive performance. This is an autoplay always. When you have a Power 5 team against a MEAC or SWAC team, I always lay the number. Monmouth covered. Yeah, but they were getting blown out for most of the game. That was a little high anyway, but I'm not in love with Monmouth. So, I don't – whatever. I mean, they got up for it, I guess you could say. I mean, Jersey matchup. Seton all kind of took their feet off the gas. Great hearing BMOC talk college hoops. Thanks you, George Young. George Young in here, the guy from Blow. Welcome in, George Young. We appreciate you joining us. Hopefully you're out of the drug game. I agree with your thoughts. I feel like Arkansas might take them light. Arkansas's not taking them light. You better believe that this team is not taking Bucknell light. You cannot take a team like Bucknell light. And in college basketball, when you're an SEC program, you can't do that. Mike Anderson is a fantastic coach. That will never happen here. By the way, Mercer, for everyone that was clamoring to hear, they beat Toccoa Falls 110-43. They win by 67 points. If you laid to 65, you're a winner. I laid to 50.5, and I'm a winner. So here. How about that? Who gave you Mercer minus 50.5 today? Not many people did, I'm sure. Here. Let's get back to the action. BMOC, the Navy-Miami total seems low. I'm leaning over. Well, Navy's going to slow it down. That's what they do in the Patriot League. And this is Miami's first game, so I could expect – well, not their first game, but the first game against a decent team. I always consider Miami, or when a team plays like a team like they played over the week, I always consider this a first game. Gardner-Webb is trash. Navy's a little bit better of a team, but Miami's at home here. I'm very high on Miami. And against a team like Navy, I don't think they have any problems here. I'm big on their guard play. Lonnie Walker's healthy again for Miami. And Navy off kind of a big win for their program against the Pitt Panthers, which, I mean, how bad is Pitt? I mean, you lay the points at Navy and you get the job done against an ACC school. I mean, Kevin Stallings should be ashamed. I would have fired him right after the game. I would have fired him that this is the state that Pittsburgh basketball's in. I mean, so many great memories with this team with Jamie Dixon, and Kevin Stallings comes in, and this is your effort. I actually kind of like Miami today at 18.5. Little heavy for me. If it was 14.5, I'd be more interested. I think they pound Navy today. This game starts in about 9 minutes. As far as the total, yeah, does seem a little low, but Miami's goal is defense. And so is Navy's. They slow it down. They play slow. I'm not hitting the total. I don't hit a lot of totals. I actually have a total play tonight, but I don't hit many. I would lean Miami in that game. Um, Sharps are on Kentucky. Well, good for them. I'm as sharp as any of them, so I don't really care. Citadel Vautech. Yeah. Uh, Listen, this is another auto play. When you have Citadel against a Power Five team, um, you know, it's probably best to take the over. This is an amazing stat. Okay, I mean, Duger Balcom, the coach for Citadel, he basically has this offense that his goal basically is to just run as fast as possible, play in transition, shoot within 10 seconds of the shot clock, and they just get crushed. Basically, on the counter, they get crushed in the half court. They don't really ever play half court basketball. It's constant running up and down the court. In his time at Citadel, against high major opponents, they're giving up 120 and a half points a game. I mean, Virginia Tech murdered them last year. I think in the last 6, 7 minutes of this game, this is where Citadel will score a lot of points. It's just like I said, I mean, it's just amazing how bad they are defensively. I mean, they gave up 90 points a game last year. They were dead last in the country defensively. Citadel is one of those teams where when you see them playing a Power Five opponent or a high mid major, you bet the over. I mean, it's just how it goes. For me, as soon as I saw this number, I got to be honest. When I got the number, I got it at 184 and a half. To me, that was a little low. I mean, I would have put it near like, I don't know, maybe 190, 191. I thought 184 was a little generous. I mean, Virginia Tech dropped 111 against Detroit the other night. So, excuse me, guys, get a little bit of a a cough here. When you do a show alone, you really have to kind of give yourself an opportunity to take a drink or some breath. So yeah, I really like Virginia Tech over. They should score 100 plus for sure. I'd say this game is like, I don't know, 117, 80 or something. I think they cover, and I think they go over the total. Bagley needs to work on it. His right and foul shooting. Other than that, he's a beast. Listen, he's in his second game. He's 17 years old. He should be a senior in high school. I mean, he's barely. I think, as a matter of fact, I think he just turned 18. I mean, the fact that he's 18 and just dominating is unbelievable. I mean, he literally should be a senior in high school. He reclassified. Amazing. Who's your all starting five? Not sure what you mean. Right now in college or just in general? That's kind of a vague question. I'm laying the 25 with Arizona, says P Rips. Let's take a look. Who is that? I don't even look at Arizona games early on just because I don't really want to bet this team right away. They're playing UMBC, Maryland Baltimore County, who I'm pretty high on. I like Maryland Baltimore County a lot. Great offensive team, very good group offensively. Top 20 last year in the country in total offense. Jarris Lyles is a great scorer, but so is Arizona. No total on this game, which if they release one, it'll probably be at like 5 p.m. I might look at that, frankly. I think this is a really high-scoring game, personally. UMBC can fill it up. Arizona should have no problem scoring. I don't think Maryland Baltimore County is this bad, though. I mean, you're basically saying that you think Arizona is going to win by 30. Not sure I see that. Personally, I would take UMBC, but I'd more be inclined to the over. But Arizona is very good. Question is, I mean, how bad do they want to win here by 40? That's the question you have with these big boys. This is 19 and a half. Sure, I'd definitely take it. But UMBC is not that bad. It wouldn't surprise you if they made the tournament this year. Northern Arizona, they beat them by 31 or 34. I'm sorry. Basically, need to do that again. For about. You need them to be like, and I don't think UMBC is 5 points better than Northern Arizona. I think on a neutral court, UMBC would beat Northern Arizona by 15 or more. So, yeah, I don't. And if you're going to say this, you have to kind of look ahead. Arizona the schedule kind of gets a little bit more difficult. I mean, they get Long Beach, NC State, UNLV, Texas A&M coming up, Alabama. In the second half, I could very well see Sean Miller going to the bench here. I mean, why get anyone hurt? Keanu Pinder's been out. They got some off the court issues. I actually kind of would like a UMBC here. Yeah, I'm not taking the under in a Citadel game. Sorry. Who was the last one who went down with that big injury last year for Mo Watson? That was Mo Watson for Creighton, and they're looking good this year. I like Creighton a lot. I'm a fan of that team long term. I love Greg McDermott, high on their guard play this year. I like Creighton. I'm going to go back up a little bit here. Hoosiers are in shambles. Well, I mean, they were in shambles in game one, but Howard is not even close to the level that Indiana State is, and they're off a loss. I like the Fighting Illini today. I'm not big on the Illini, to be honest, George. I see where you're going there. Skyhawks are off a tough turnaround OT game against Marshall. They should be pretty tired in this game. Illinois should pull away, but I don't know how good Brad Underwood's team is. I would agree with you probably, though. I mean, Tennessee Martins, like I said, off a really tough game against Marshall, but overtime. Yeah, I would agree with you there. Wisconsin should be a good play. Yale got beat by Creighton badly. Yeah, and Makai Mason's out now. So, add insult to injury. Makai Mason's always injured. I mean, always. And that's why for me with Yale, I was very average with them. In one of my previews I did on Yale, a lot of people were surprised I didn't take them in this conference. But I like Princeton and Harvard more. I think they have a little bit more talent. I think, and you always got to worry, Makai Mason can't stay healthy. I like Wisconsin here. I think 15 is even a little light still. Wisconsin is a team that, I mean, I don't know how are they going to have an answer for Ethan Happ down low in this game? And without their best player, yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you there. P-Rips, that would be one I'd be looking at as well. And then Bruner's out as well for Yale. So, you got to go from Creighton over to Madison, kind of in the middle of a road trip. And you look at in that game, if you look at the box score against Creighton, 36 shots at the rim for Creighton in that game. They only missed 4. Ethan Happ could have a huge game here. This is one I had my eye on, so I probably will add this after the show. UK freshman always starts season slow. I know. That's why I took Vermont today. Princeton Butler leaning under 143. Yeah, I like that. I could see a game playing the 60s, sure. One of my old soldiers plays for Citadel. If you get to see the game, let me know what you think. Yeah, I actually watch their games. They're always on ESPN3. What's the kid's name, Chris? I'll gladly check it out. Vermont hanging in there. Yeah, they'll hang. That's what we need them to do here, boys. Just hang in there. You're all over Washington State against Texas Southern. Well, good luck with that, because Texas Southern's a very good. They're the only SWAC team that I don't bet against. And I know I just told you that you should lay the points with the Power 5 teams against the SWAC, but the only team that I don't do that with is Texas Southern. Mike Davis's team is good. They always play well in this conference. They always give the big boys a little bit of a run for their money, particularly even in the tournament sometimes. They have a dangerous backcourt with DeMontre Jefferson and Dante Clark, who's in there from UMass. He had a good career at UMass. He's down at Texas Southern from Mike Davis. I mean, he had 16 points in the A-10. In the SWAC, he might be the best player in the conference. So I don't really feel comfortable doing that. I know the line looks a little low, and it could probably come in, and who am I? I mean, I'm just giving my opinion. I'm just trying to educate you on Texas Southern. Ernie Kent's team at Washington State is, the lovable losers in the Pac-12. I mean, if Cal wasn't so terrible, they would be the worst team in this conference. So for me, I kind of lean the other way there, but it is a little light, this line. I need more points if I'm going to take Texas Southern, but don't be surprised to see them hang in there. They have A-10, mid-major good talent at Texas Southern. And a coach in Mike Davis who did some good things in Indiana. What's going on with the Cal Bears? They suck. They don't have any talent. Gabe and I actually had that the other night. We took the money line on Cal Riverside Live, and it was an easy win. And the thing about Cal is like they have a little talent. I mean, they have Marcus Lee who went to Kentucky. They have some bright spots there, but I mean, you lose your coach, you lose a lot of good talent: Jabari Bird, Cameron Rooks, Charlie Moore. I mean, they lost so much there, and you try to patch the holes together with transfers. I mean, and transfers that didn't play much as it is. New coach. I mean, it's a mess, and that's what's going on with Cal. They were picked by me to be last in this conference, and I think them and Washington State will battle it out. G. Mason covering today look as good as the Cats from Louisville. Yeah, G. Mason did play well. I like the Patriots. I liked them a lot last year. They were a bet-on team for me last year in the Atlantic 10 Conference. I was a big Marquise Moore fan. Let's look at the rest of the card here, see if there's any other value. I'm intrigued by Denver today. I think this team is pretty good. Joe Roska is a really good player. They play great defense. And Cal Irvine, this is another game off of a real tough game up at South Dakota State. This is elevation at Denver. The Pioneers are a good team. Rodney Billups, brother of Chauncey, coaches Denver. And this Denver U Pioneer team is really a team that I like out of the Summit League. I think they're a team that could really do some damage this year. Like I said, they have good guards. They play well. They have the elevation advantage. I actually like them today in this game. I don't particularly like UC Irvine. I don't think they're anywhere near what they once were. And this is a tough spot for them. Off a tough game up in South Dakota. Now you got to travel on short rest and play an elevation against Denver. Yeah, if I could get 3.5, I'd be more interested in Denver. 5's kind of a dead number in basketball. You kind of need like almost them to pull away towards the end. And Denver has the knack to play close games, so I'm interested in Denver, but whether I'm going to play it or not, this is actually a decent spot to play. People ask me why I don't play basketball teasers because you only get 4 points and they're stupid, but what I do sometimes, and I might do this once a week in basketball, is find 2 4.5 or 5 point favorites, parlay them together. You're going to get a plus 130, plus 140 payout, and you kind of avoid the late game theatrics. I very much think Denver will win this game, so it's really just about finding another team to pair it with. And again, I'm not saying that I would lay 8.5 or lay 7.5 money lines. It's strictly like a 5 point or less, particularly 4.5 or 5 points, parlaying it with another team doing the same. So, what that is. You maybe want to do it with a football game, but I really like Denver to win this game. So it's really just a fact of finding someone to throw it in there with. Southern Utah, Boise. Southern Utah hung with Oregon State the other night, which surprised me, but they still got a real comfortable win, Oregon State. Southern Utah's trash. And I actually like the athleticism Boise State has. They could really punt. Southern Utah here, the Thunderbirds. This is a better number. I think Boise win by 30 here. Troy, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, not a big opinion. Pine Bluff actually hung with Hawaii. I mean, what a crazy couple of hours for Arkansas Pine Bluff. I mean, you got to go play Troy in Alabama after playing Friday. Basically Saturday morning in Hawaii. I'm going to be looking at a second half play in this game. I think Troy punts Pine Bluff in the second half. Pine Bluff has to be exhausted. It's just the life of a SWAC team, really. Let's take a look at what's going on in the NFL. NFL's kind of 1 o'clock games winding down here. Steelers are up. Steelers are tied with the Indianapolis Colts here 53 seconds ago. They do have the ball on the 50-yard line, so they're in a spot for a game-winning field goal here. I got to tell you, Pittsburgh not a team I'd be backing on the road. I don't care who they're playing. They're just not that good a team on the road. So yeah, interesting game here. Did we miss any college games I wanted to talk about? No, we got through most of them here. SMU UL Monroe is an interesting one. That game just got going here, so we won't talk about that one. But I kind of want to go with SMU there. UL Monroe stinks. They were lucky to hang the other night against. I know Ian Cameron had whoever they played. I forget who it was. One other one. This is kind of an interesting line, guys. This is one last game that I'll talk about. I kind of like San Jose State tonight, +3 at home against San Diego. I think this is way too much respect for San Diego. Um, a, a big West team, I don't think should be laying 3 to anyone here, especially a Mountain West team who I'm actually kind of high on. I think they're a decent little team, San Jose State. I think they win this game. I'm not really sure why they're getting points here at home. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I think people are quick to write off San Jose State. But again, this is not the football team. This is a basketball team that's not that bad. I know they won't win a ton of games in that conference, but, they get a new coach. They did lose some players, but I still think they're a decent team. So, they're kind of not getting a ton of respect here. I might play a bit on this one as this one approaches. Need Minnesota +7.5 to salvage these early games. Bills kill me. Well, that's what the Bills do, don't they? They always lose games like that. So good luck. I hope you get the job done. Cleveland's not going to cover. What a surprise! They were actually playing pretty well in this game. Amazing. They're really going to have trouble winning a game this year. I mean, they were even in this game, and they somehow found a way to not cover. It looks like they're in the red zone though, so they might backdoor here. I know people are kind of excited about this one. Maybe they'll backdoor. How bad is Tennessee too? I mean, Tennessee at home. I mean, they're struggling with the Bengals. We all know the Bengals aren't very good either. Looks like the Chargers are in business. They might cover yet again. Chargers just don't lose a lot of games by a lot of points. Pretty amazing. New Orleans crush it. Wow, 47-10. I haven't even watched a lot of these games, guys. I've been just doing other things. Green Bay wins. Good. I think I had them in my I believe I had them in my super contest play. So great. Yeah, actually, it's funny. I actually tweeted this out. Well, I didn't tweet it out. I put it on the show earlier with Gabe and those guys. I actually had Detroit first half, and hitting that was pretty good because I feel like I deserve one of those. I don't get those very often, so I was just happy to catch that. But the NFL is hard to predict. It's not that hard to predict. I've learned lately that really just do whatever everyone else is doing. Just bet the opposite. It's pretty legitimate usually. I mean, look at the biggest bet games today. Steelers, that's not going to win. A lot of people on the Jets. That low. I mean, you're betting on the Jets, and remember, that's not a good thing. That didn't win. Jacksonville, everybody loves. They're not going to cover probably. Tennessee's not going to cover. Cleveland is might backdoor here against Detroit. So yeah, it's definitely tough to predict, but you really just have to go with what everyone else is not doing. But other than that, guys, I'm going to jump off. I don't like to make these shows particularly long when I'm doing them on my own. They are kind of tough to do by yourself. But all in all, some of my plays that I do like, and I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to play yet. I've only made that I have the play that I've already sent out, but I might add to the card. I already have the Vermont game that's in play right now. I'm also sitting on the Citadel total over 184.5, and I'm also on Lipscomb. That one starts, and I mean, guys, it pays to have openers, to hit openers. I mean, I've beaten so many lines lately, and it's pretty sick, actually. I feel really good with myself, actually, because I had Lipscomb. I got them at 2.5. They're up to 5. So, I mean, just some really good numbers I've gotten here, and I feel confident with those. So I might add one or two more, to add to the card, but look out for that on Twitter. Other than that, as Gabe Moretz would say, you're on your own. I got 184.5 in Citadel. That's up to 187.5. So I beat both lines. Let's hope that gets the job done. Catch me tonight on SBRpicks.com. We'll be on at 7:30 and then on at 8:25. No problem, Emza. Thanks. Thanks to all the people that listen. Tell your friends. Subscribe to the show. Hopefully, you guys tune in. And I want everyone to let everyone know, if you're still on here, Ian Cameron and I are probably going to be doing a show every day at 5 o'clock here on my channel. So, if you're available, feel free to tune in. It's going to be the same time I used to have my podcast at. We'll go over the games that night in college basketball, and hope to find some more winners. So, tune into the show going forward, subscribe to the page, and that's it. Everyone have a great night, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Bye-bye.